what Rashad didn't understand when I was talking about the football part of it. What was the biggest topic? He kept saying football. So if I say, what was the biggest news on Sunday? As a basketball fan, you would say, oh, Golden State upset Houston. If you're a wrestling fan, you would say WrestleMania. If I say global news, Shannon Sharp's thing was the biggest news, who would be right? Outside of what you do in life, what you watch, what is the topic of discussion? And it will be the Shannon Sharp thing. It went everywhere.
When you and Rashad was talking about the numbers for the TV, right? I really didn't. I was trying to understand where both of you guys were coming. Can you better explain like what you were talking about, for like the TV numbers and everything?
All right. Okay. Can you see at the top? It says like 787.
Yeah, that's current live viewers on the playback.
That's current live viewers, right? So 787. If this was regular TV, every 15 minutes it will do a check on how many people's in here. So so it'll say at the end of the show, it'll say an average of, let's say, 775 people watched this game with us, and then it'll have a peak number. So the peak number is just the highest number it got, right? Mm-hmm. So what happens is TV now are showing that the average of the number. We don't know what the total number of how many people actually watched it in total. Only Greer will let us know.
Yeah, Greer, you got to come with the info.
So Greer will let us know how many people watched it all together. They don't give that number anymore. So for some reason, they're holding it off to make it look like a certain number, which is kind of manipulating it. But that's why I asked him, I said, if the numbers were going down like he says they are, and like media says they are, you're talking about, it went from 20 million back in the 90s to now 2 million, and it's been declining ever since. Why would you pay $70 billion for projections? Projection says it's going low. So why would you pay that high price? They will be giving it away. But the people who are buying it, when the NBA opens up all their numbers, they're looking at everything. They're looking at streaming numbers. They're looking at total numbers. They're looking at overseas views numbers. They're looking at all platforms. And that's where the platforms and everything is said, oh, this is a big business. We want in. We will pay you $70 billion for this.
I think it was 11-year, $76 billion deal. So obviously, before you commit that level of bread, you're doing your due diligence. You're doing deep research. You're getting information from the league, but you're also cross-referencing, checking that information. You're looking at the social numbers like Gil pointed out. Also an avenue, a lot of those companies will have deals with the league to be able to run content on their own social platform to eat off of that as well. Everything nowadays, and really, I guess it's how they define what a view is, right?
Yeah.
Like YouTube is what, if you watch for 3-5 seconds, whatever it may be, that counts as a view. And like our show, we had 30,000 people at our peak in the chat today on Gil's Arena. But the total number, by the time it's all said and done, will be somewhere in the 275,000, 300,000 ranges in terms of total number of people that will watch the episode.
They're going crazy on Shannon in this thing. That Barbie doll is crazy.
Yeah, that's what I said. I had to understand it because listen, I was sitting with NBC and I'm like, why would you guys buy into it if the numbers was down? And that motherfucker looked at me like I was, and he was like, this is big business, right? The NBA is big business. And then he basically, remember I texted you and I said, LeBron won't be playing remember I showed y'all the text.
Yeah.
LeBron won't be playing in the All-Star Weekend game. And he said that All-Star numbers will be the worst this year because SNL 50th anniversary will be on at the same time. So the numbers across the board will dip. And then he says the next year when we're doing our numbers and how we will be reporting it, we will be looking like we saved the day.
Yeah. But you also, they have to project what they're going to be able to do, but you can get a kind of vision of what's going on the content landscape as well, right? So example, highest number to 25 years to the opening weekend of this playoff based on what the average viewership, whatever they can skew. But like, I had a show on Comedy Central. They can skew numbers to tell you whatever they want. Oh, this is the highest opening. Yeah. That's 14 years for 18 to 34 African-American men or whatever. All the shit that they can get into and say to make it look good. Right. Kind of like we do at Wemby first player with 2015 7-2 and 8 steals and 3 whatever. You can
it's how you want to sell it. But at the end of the day, the buyer is doing all the research, right? And yes, football locally is bigger business, right? In America is big business in America. Outside, when you're talking about global, our global presence is bigger. Yeah. When you're talking about overseas, Italy, China, Thailand, basketball travels is played everywhere, right? So when I'm looking across all these numbers, I'm looking at all the platforms, I'm looking at, everyone's social clips, right? How much it travels. Like football handicaps themselves because they don't allow you to stream their services. Like you don't see their clips across no social platform. When was the last time you seen a motherfucker like tackles or getting hit, right? They're handicapping, so they're forcing you to watch their programming.
Basketball, I want to say third largest sport in the world.
Yeah.
Soccer, and forget whatever else is in front of it. But like every country has their own professional league, right? American football.
It's just American football.
Yeah, I think they've tried it overseas in a couple of spots, but it ain't a global game.
Like this is something I was looking into, trying to see what made sense and how to travel through platforms to see if being on TV was better than being on streams, so I had to do a lot of
cricket. Yeah, cricket is out there getting it, and it, like you pointed out, good NBA super relaxed in terms of letting you run their content, post their stuff across social media. Like MLB, that's what's kind of been them for years. You try to put a baseball clip up, they'll pull your shit down, won't let you cook, won't let you help promote the league. The league NBA appreciates social content creation around, even if it's in a negative light. Hey, they think it's all feeding the bigger machine, so they're not tripping on it.
That's what I said. Think about football itself. You have your biggest football personalities. They get more viral from talking basketball, right? Because you can show highlights and do this and do that. You can't do that on the football scene, right? So when you're talking about football podcasts, just across the board, think about YouTube. If you look at YouTube's biggest football platform, they can't show no clips. They can't do any of it. It's handicapped. Right, so it's hard to really expand, and because they think more about the team than the player themselves. The biggest football personality or star that they have on a social media platform is Odell Beckham.
Yeah.
Odell Beckham, and Tom Brady, I'm sure, but Odell Beckham. When you talk about Odell Beckham's reach, his reach, is it Odell? It's Odell Beckham. No.
I'm sorry. They dropping Antonio Brown, Shannon Sharp memes in the chat right now.
Yeah. Odell, outside of, because he hung out with Drake, he did his reach is so much bigger than the best super. Or you can add the best three together. You can put him, you can put Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, you can put whoever the third biggest is, put them together. He still has more social following than all three of those guys together.
I mean, what, Shedeur Sanders? He kind of big, right now. He's not even in the
NFL. You keep saying I'm wrong, Julian Vision, but prove me wrong. Just prove me wrong.
What about who date Taylor Swift?
Travis Kelce. But Brad, if you look at the top 20 most marketable football players compared to the top 20 most marketable basketball players, the basketball players blow them out of the water because niggas wear helmets. You can't see who they are.
Yeah, no, Odell Beckham, 17 million. He got 17 million followers. Who do you want me to go look at? And then we just add them up. Who you want me? Come on, chat. Who you want me to add? Let's just add up the top three.
I mean, you just start with Bron and
right
we call
now.
it a day.
You saying followers don't mean it lets you know what your reach is.
Shout out Renal. We are talking about
we're talking about American football.
Football Americano.
We already know. Yeah, we're not talking about soccer.
That's some other. Now they drop their nuts on the table and let y'all know really what time it is.
Right.
Broke niggas. What y'all talking about?
Lamar Jackson, he has 3.6 million.
Hey, Rodney got more than that, huh?
Yeah. Patrick Mahomes, he has 6.9. So now you need somebody at 7.
I mean, Brady probably. I'm trying to think who. Kelsey got that bump because of Taylor Swift.
Yeah. What is Travis Kelce? Yeah.
Joe Burrows, he has 4.1 million. I said you can add one more. You got 3 million to go. Who you want?
Andrew Reese cooking them. Let's just keep it a buck, y'all. We don't want to go into this convo.
It's not it's the NFL. They want team. They don't want players.
Somebody said Russell Wilson.
Dangerous Russell. He has 5.6 million.
Delicious Subway sandwich though for those who partake. The Danger Witch. Oh,
let me see what Jerry West shit is. Hold on.
You say Jerry West?
If Jerry West has one, he's wild.
Rest in peace to the GOAT.
Rest in peace to logo.
No, not Jerry West.
Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones.
He the GOAT to this creeping and sneaking.
No, I was saying if he had a social media platform.
He a fan.
So Barkley got 3.5 million.
Jerry Jones is meat watching.
That's crazy.
I'm pretty sure Antonio Brown got more because he's been all over the place. Yeah, AB got 17 million.
He got a team running his social now, like Kevin Love got a team running his.
Nice. That's nice.
No, but when you're talking about why he got his 17 million, look at everything he's done. He's touched everything outside of football. When I was talking about what Rashad didn't understand, when I was talking about like the football part of it, not popularity, but what was the biggest topics? And he kept saying football, Pat McAfee. When we say what's trending, right?
Yeah.
Right now, we can talk about this sport. They play Sunday, right? So if I say, what was the biggest news on Sunday? As a basketball fan, you would say, oh, shit, Golden State upset Houston. If you're a wrestling fan, you would say WrestleMania. That was Sunday, right?
John Cena or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? If I say global news, Shannon Sharp's thing was the biggest news, who would be right? Global, outside of what you do in life, what you watch, what is the topic of discussion? And it will be the Shannon Sharp thing. It went everywhere.
Yeah.
So that went over basketball, that went over everything. So when I was talking about the football, I said within the 24 hours of the Super Bowl, what was the topics being talked about? It was Usher, or the year before it was Usher, because he's big. He's the biggest name in football. Yeah. Right, it was Usher getting married, Usher touching on what's the name, right? It was
Taylor
Swift, because she's bigger than everybody at the Super Bowl. So Taylor Swift number one, Usher's number two, and then football. Right?
Yeah.
Right now, Kendrick Lamar is bigger than anybody in the football arena, right? So he was the number one topic. If you're a football fan, whatever happened in a football game, yeah. But globally, if I'm not a football fan, I should be able to see your news.
Yeah, Serena crip walking. There was a lot of
like it's those are the things that's
Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
When I'm watching CNN and I'm like, what's on news? It gives you a topics. The people who won the football, that's not the topic anymore.
Really, it was the Kendrick Say Drake got memed with the the looking at the camera right when he did it. I deal with meme culture a little bit as some of you guys.
But once Kendrick got even announced that he was doing the Super Bowl, it was the biggest news till the Super Bowl, because they were talking about Lil Wayne, they were talking about all this other stuff. Everybody was just wondering what was Kendrick's performance going to be like.
Yeah, I go with global. I don't go with for it to be news, I have to hear about it.
Yeah.
Right? Not watching football. So I shouldn't have to turn on Sports Center to talk about it. Like if I'm just sitting here watching the news and what comes across the ticker, that's how it's supposed to work.
Method Man Ed said nobody cared about Kendrick or Serena. Didn't know she was there till the next day. You're talking about you, sir.
Yeah.
You might not have known that.
Well, I didn't watch 1 minute of the football game.
I didn't either.
But I'm telling you the topics of football because that's what's coming across in my regular time life. That lets you know what's popping.
Yeah, and dude was lying because everybody was talking about the Kendrick thing. What are you talking about?
Ooh, Luka trade was dominating the news cycle.
Yeah, Luka trade
in that moment.
Like if
Good call. Shout out Cozy.
If we talk about whatever happened that day in sports, football, basketball, the global news was Luka trade, even though 4 other people were traded the same day. No one gave a fuck.